Whenever I have a machine with this style of bobbin case, I almost always take it off like this because it's very common for threads to get underneath of it, and that creates a lot of friction. And so it's a sure fire improvement to just get in there, and it doesn't take much to get in there. We'll pull these two screws out. A lot of machines, when they're purchased new, will come with a little screwdriver like this, and it's pretty good for, well, you kind of need a screwdriver that A, fits the screw, and B, fits underneath the arm of the machine. Okay, I'll get that piece off, those two screws. The next thing is this plate here. So taking the screw in the back out, remove these two screws. So there's a notch in here that corresponds with this part right here. This fits into this notch. Sorry about the focus, but I think you can tell what I'm pointing at here. And then when these go to come out, they have to be oriented a certain way. So there's a ring all the way around this, except for there's a gap, and that gap has to correspond with the section here on the hook. So it's kind of hard to see, but eventually you'll get around to it. Now here's a piece of thread stuck in there. That's what we want to get out of there. So that's out. Now this is clean. You can oil this track right here that the bobbin case rotates in. Just a drop. That's all you need. So once you get that cleaned out, it goes back in the same way it came out. And these screws are kind of small and tricky. Just take your time. I've got a magnetized screwdriver. Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not so good. And just when you're starting these screws, make sure they want to turn easy. Don't force them in there. You don't want to cross thread. that screw, because basically you'll be replacing the hook if you screw the threads up in that. Also, I find it helpful to rotate the hook to bring the screw hole that I'm working on into a position that's advantageous for me to access with my tools and eyesight and whatnot. So this one has two, so I like to get them both started and in before I tighten either one of them down fully. So now that I've got them both in, I'll get that one tight, back this up, get the first one I put in tight, and that's set. Now when we put this back together, this notch fits into this notch, so we'll just line it up there. Okay, now I know I'm in there. I'll put the screws back in. Here's how we put a bobbin in. Drop that in there, lock it down, bring the thread through this slot. And then you want to work that thread through there. And a pull. So you can see the thread coming around the hook. Right here is the tip of the hook, and that's what grabs the thread off the needle. And then as it rotates, it brings the thread around the bobbin, and that's how it makes the lock stitch. So that helps us get the bobbin thread up through the feed dog. And then we get this thread down through the foot, and we'll be set. Place your plate, and you're off.